Well, we wanted an opportunity to Green the Great Lakes to sponsor an ongoing conversation about the ways in which sustainable sustainability could be coupled with economic competitiveness and quality of life in new and different ways, so that they weren't simply mutually exclusive. It wasn't just a sort of a program about all things green. It was a program about how things green could contribute to economic competitiveness and quality of life, and that we would be able to touch on a variety of topics, so it wasn't limited to one aspect of being green, but it could touch on all the sort of the natural assets that give Michigan an opportunity to be a real leader going forward in the 21st century.
But our show looks at some of the most serious issues of our time related to sustainability, everything from global warming to invasive species, climate change, alternative energy, all of the things that people are talking about not only in the media, but across the globe.
The show as a whole brings a unique perspective to not just recycling, but the environment as a whole. And they cover such a vast and wide range of topics that you find yourself learning things that you never really knew about. Somebody comes around and looks at the beverage container recycling world. You take your beverage containers back to the grocery store, you have no idea what happens to them after that. And the Green in the Great Lakes has given us the opportunity to kind of tell the public at large our role in doing what we think is the right thing, not only for the environment, but for the state of Michigan.
Also, the important thing about research is that once the research happens, it needs to be broadly communicated to folks. And along those lines, Green in the Great Lakes plays a really important role, because research for research's sake is meaningless. If you don't communicate things in an understandable, ready-to-use way to people, it can't be used and it's not important. So that's another reason that Green in the Great Lakes sponsorship is a natural fit for us.
Well, it's the combination of the radio show and the website. And if you're a business that is covering the entire state of Michigan, you're not going to get better coverage than those two avenues. And if you're an environmentally friendly type business, whether if you're an energy company or if you're in logistics or trucking or that type of thing, this is a great avenue for you to get your message out and let the people of Michigan know that you're doing the right things.
And more importantly, I think that any given program can be viewed as having a particular slant or bias, because there's only so much time in a program to cover things, and you're bound by the people that are the guests in some ways and their points of view. So I think it's important, like you would in the concept of a citizen scholar, to think about listening to the program over a period of time, because I think they'll find the perspectives are very diverse. And within that, there's the fodder for a pathway forward for Michigan.
Green in the Great Lakes, as I say, it's not just getting the information out there, but actually hosting our scientists and our leadership so that they can actually put a face to the research. Our researchers live, play, work, and raise their families here too, and so it's just as important to them that the research benefits the state and boosts the economy. And I think it's really helpful for people to hear firsthand from our researchers about the work they're doing and how it affects their lives. So I think overall it's a win-win for us, for Green in the Great Lakes, and for the citizens of Michigan.
How can we leave the planet better for future generations? What do we need to do now to ensure that our children and our grandchildren are going to have the same beautiful environment, the same economic stability, and the same socio-cultural heritage that we had when we were born?
This Greening of the Great Lakes video is produced by Russ Green and White at Michigan State University for MLive.com.